Welcome back to Garden Sunday. We're at week 5, and apparently we've had a change in garden security this week. Jack has discovered he's tall enough now to stand on his back legs and look over the balcony wall, so apparently he's taken over lookout duty. Meanwhile, Bailey decided she's in charge of inspecting plants this week. They completely switched roles. As for the garden itself, we don't have a whole lot of dramatic changes this week, but we do have a few things to check on. The avocado root continues to get longer, which is exciting. We still don't have any growth coming from the top yet, but the root is definitely doing something. And there's the lavender, still nothing. Apparently lavender need light to germinate, so I've planted some more seeds on top and we'll see what happens next. Okay, so we had a little compost problem. When we checked the bucket this week, we found fruit flies and some very small maggots. They don't really show up on camera, thankfully, but you can see that our compost is looking wet and muddy. It also smells like decomposing greens, so I think we've gotten a little too heavy on the greens and not heavy enough on the browns. So I picked up a second cracker bucket. I'm going to use the lid underneath this one to catch the liquid that drains out so it doesn't end up all over the balcony or the washer. And after all of our vegetable prep, we'll have plenty of scraps and browns to add. Stay tuned to the end to see how we'll attempt to correct this. While doing the garden update, I also decided to prep some of the ingredients we use all of the time. I bought onions, peppers, and garlic in bulk, so instead of letting them sit in the refrigerator and spoil, I chopped everything up and froze it for recipes throughout the month. We started with 8 pounds of yellow onions, just under 3 pounds of green peppers, some red peppers, and 2 pounds of garlic. The nice thing about doing this yourself is you're paying for the vegetables rather than paying someone else to chop them for you. It does take time though. It took me the better part of 2 days to do all of these. Now I did learn something. Doing this, I put these into quart-sized freezer bags, and that was a mistake. Once they're frozen, it's really hard to break off just what you need. If I do this again, I'll either divide everything into smaller portions before freezing, or I'll spread it out in a thin layer on a parchment or wax paper lined pan. Freeze it flat and then break it apart and put it into bags. That way I can grab just what I need instead of fighting with a frozen vegetable brick. Good lesson learned. Vegetable bricks are good for defense, not for cooking. And I didn't throw away the scraps. I saved the seeds from the peppers because I want to see if we can grow some of our own. The vegetable scraps went into the compost, and I saved the onion and garlic skins separately to use as browns. The goal isn't just to save money at the grocery store, it's to see how much more we can get out of the food we buy. The prepared onion and pepper mix I usually buy is 4 pounds for $6.78, or about $1.70 per pound. For this experiment, we bought 8 pounds of yellow onions for $5, or about 63 cents a pound. We also purchased just under 3 pounds of green peppers for $6.87, or about $2.58 a pound, and 2 pounds of garlic for $6.97, or about $3.49 per pound. Even though the prepared mix is only about $1.70 per pound, buying the ingredients separately lets us take advantage of sales and customize what goes into the mix and add ingredients that aren't included in the prepared version, like garlic. The downside is you have to do all of the work. I also need to point out I am so grateful I have this food processor because I can only imagine how much longer it would have taken to chop all of this by hand. Also, with the red and green peppers, I did try to drain off as much of the excess liquid. They tended to be a little bit more wet prior to freezing them. And of course, we're not freezing all of this just to have a freezer full of vegetables. We're going to actually use them. Here's a peek at our dinner from last night. That's exactly the kinds of ingredients we're prepping, so they're ready to grab when we're cooking. And if you want to see what we made with them, make sure you tune in Thursday. Now let's see what we're doing with all of our scraps. So now we've got our vegetables prepped and put away, but we're not done yet. Remember, we saved these scraps. Now they're going into the compost. Because our compost was looking pretty wet and muddy when we checked it, I didn't want to just add all of the fresh scraps and make the problem worse. So after adding them, I'm covering them with the dry onion and garlic skins we saved. Now we'll leave this alone for a week and see if adding the browns helps bring our compost back into balance. We'll check again soon. Our Garden Sunday update for week 5. We've got a lot going on in this little garden, and we're slowly figuring out how to make everything work together, from growing and composting to saving money on our ingredients. And remember that adobo and sazon we made recently? We're putting those to work this Thursday, along with some of the aromatics we prepped today. So if you want to see what we're making with everything we've been working on, make sure to come back Thursday. And if you're enjoying following along as we figure all of this out, we'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. Let us know in the comments what are some of your favorite ways to save money and reduce food waste. And if you know someone who would enjoy this kind of gardening, cooking, and everyday island life, share this video with them. Don't forget to come back Thursday, where we put our homemade adobo and sazon to work, along with some of the ingredients we prepped today. Until next time, we'll see you on the island.